Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? KMB the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for C Plus Studios, and welcome to the New World Podcast, brother. It is fueled, it is powered. You will acknowledge crazyhoodiez.com. All designs by the almighty Big Daddy. And if you are subscribed to the C Plus Studios feed, you get the Big Daddy Forever podcast. You get the New World podcast. You get the Sexy Ninja cast. That's every Sunday. You also get the Social Vent podcast that drops every Thursday. You didn't have a social vent this week. Just Phil's on to big things right now. He had a crazy busy week adjusting to his new spot where he lives now. But next week we will be back. We will return for the Social Vent podcast. So don't worry. Don't worry. We ain't going nowhere, baby. We ain't going nowhere. All right, I'm doing something a little bit different this week. And I think I think I'm gonna like doing these more often. This is gonna be a separate podcast from when usually I review the SmackDown show itself, and then I do my predictions going into a pay-per-view. But this week's a little bit different. My entire Saturday is filled to the brim with work itself from 5 a.m. all the way till 10 p.m. So I will still review SmackDown itself separately, but Crown Jewel's the same day as well, and I'm going to miss Crown Jewel, but I will review Crown Jewel afterwards. So I was like, you know what? I like doing these predictions. I like kind of discussing where we're going to go with the pay-per-view coming up. Like I want to speak my mind on these matches, and I'm just doing it right now. And I just thought, you know what? The prediction for Crown Jewel predictions, and, you know, hope what I want to see and this and that, or what we're going to get. We don't know. Big shock factor. You know, we shall see. We shall see what happens. But I want to talk about Crown Jewel because it is tomorrow. We're gearing up. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. And I just want to jump right on in. First things first. Bray Wyatt will be at Crown Jewel. What is Bray Wyatt going to do? Is Bray Wyatt finally going to go face-to-face with whoever is next in line? They're not even next in line. He's back. No one's been next in line. It's just been these cryptic promos and everything like that. You know, will we see Uncle Howdy debut? You know, what shall we see with Bray Wyatt being at the show? When will the lights go off and he'll be standing there looking at whoever he's going to face, maybe at Survivor Series? You know, the story's going to unfold a little bit more for this show, and I want to understand where Bray's going. And I'm looking at the possibilities. I'm looking at the card itself. You know, you could have him, you know, go maybe he finally he faces Roman Reigns. He, like, at the end of Logan Paul and Roman Reigns match, he comes out and he's like, "Yo, I'm here." But I have a different prediction for that. A different prediction, very, very different prediction. So we shall see. You know, is he going to show up in the Drew McIntyre's match with the steel cage? He's going to show up during Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley? Or is he going to have his own thing? His own separate thing that I won't understand, because I'm like, he has to be at the show for a reason. Triple H has to book him for a reason. And it's either going to be he's going to become face-to-face with Roman Reigns, or he'll come face to face with who he is gonna face and start a storyline with. We shall see. Bray Wyatt, because they are like, Bray Wyatt's gonna be at Crown Jewel, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know. I just don't know. You know, I just don't know. You know, do you know? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what we're gonna go with Bray Wyatt at Crown Jewel. On my list here of notes, the Raw Women's Championship is on the line. Bianca Belair versus Bayley in the last woman standing match. I feel this is huge. especially for the women's division, because when they first started doing these Crown Jewel shows, I believe the first one didn't have any women's matches in there. Then the second time around, they were covered from their wrist all the way to their necks. You couldn't see no leg, no nothing, and that was a big deal as well. But there's slowly some progression there. And I remember one of the rules with the first Crown Jewel that was really controversial was that they weren't allowed to have women on camera. You weren't allowed, especially with people in the crowd, you weren't allowed to have the woman on the camera and everything like that. But they gotten a little bit more progressive along with this show, with these Crown Jewel shows that they do. Love them or hate them, or how the deal was signed or anything like that, and the scariness of a possible war going on. And hopefully, knock on wood, nothing like that happens to anyone, especially, WWE going over there. But, this show itself is, I would say, is progressing in the right direction. And we're going to see Bianca Belair versus Bayley for in the last woman standing match. They're going to beat the hell out of each other. They're going to give us a good show. And I'm predicting Bayley is going to get the title. And then we're going to see a rematch with Damage Control versus Asuka and Alexa Bliss. And hopefully maybe get the titles back. But I think they're going to go have a nice long run with Asuka and Alexa Bliss as the women's tag team champion, so we can start building that division. But I feel like this match right here, Bianca versus Bayley in the last woman standing match, I believe Bayley is going to be the last one standing, and I believe the help with Damage Control, or help with Damage Control, or the help with Asuka and Alexa Bliss. But that's also I don't think all the superstars are going to be there like they normally are here in the States. So, maybe there's a limited, it's just going to be Bianca Belair. It's just going to be Bayley straight up. No outside interference or nothing like that, because they only brought a handful, over for this show, for this big production and stuff like that. So Crown Jewel itself is unpredictable in that sense, because they're not going to take everybody over there, because there's possibly, because remember that last time they had the scramble for Raw because they couldn't come back. They got caught up over there, and a good chunk of the stars, I think Brock Lesnar was one of them, they couldn't come back. So I think with this show that they're going to take who's on the card, of course. And I remember one time, I think Sami Zayn, I believe, doesn't want to go over there. So we probably won't even see Sami Zayn with the Usos, and Solo and anything like that, So we shall see, though. We shall see. Next match, Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage match, brother. Oh, yeah, steel cage, the metal man. Oh, yeah. I'm wondering, I have a feeling that Karrion Kross will win with some assistance. Will Scarlett be there? That's another thing. Will she be there doing the entrance and everything like that? We don't know. We don't know until the show happens. So I feel like Karrion Kross is going to win, though. I think Karrion Kross needs to win. Drew McIntyre is a made man. He, win or loss, he's going to be Drew McIntyre. He's an ass kicker. He's a fighter. He is Drew McIntyre. So I don't think a loss to Karrion Kross will be anything, unless Drew does win. And then we have the third match at Survivor Series, because now that's the rubber match. One wins one loses one, and then they decide the final fate with the rubber match at Survivor Series. Or it's Team Kross versus Team McIntyre. So I'm guessing Kross. I think Kross will win, but I'm leaning a little bit towards more Drew, just because there is that possibility of a rubber match or team versus team at Survivor Series, Or it could go into this aspect, because there's talks of war games at Survivor Series. I remember hearing that, and I was like, oh my God, yes! So we could see Team Kross versus Team McIntyre in a war games match at Survivor Series. How dope would that be? Well, I know these two are going to beat each other up. They're going to throw each other into that steel, and something's going to happen. I also feel we could see a spot where Kross hits Drew so hard into the cage and the cage falls apart and Drew rolls out or Cross rolls out or something like that. They're going to do something big, especially when they have a steel cage match at the show. But I am picking more towards Cross. So we shall see. This match, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, getting some shine, and these two, they want to kill each other. Like on Raw, they just wanted to fight and they wanted to dismantle each other. And Triple H had to come out and say, yo, you guys touch, the match is off. You guys touch, the match is off. So I think these two are just going to beat each other senseless, just two monsters in the ring. Will it be crazy technical? No, I feel like it's going to be very big man style of wrestling because these two are very huge, but it's also going to be a little more entertaining because we got a very entertaining Brock Lesnar. You got a very serious Bobby Lashley. So it's going to be a battle, but I'm picking Bobby Lashley for the win. I think Bobby Lashley's going to get the win because they're building Bobby. And once again, just like Drew, Brock doesn't need a W, doesn't need it. He doesn't need the W. He's Brock Lesnar. He's the beast. Comes from Suplex City. He doesn't need to win. I feel he's going to give his all and just make Bobby look like $1,000,000. So Bobby going forward is technically the new Brock Lesnar because I know Brock is probably like, it's coming to an end soon. He said it before. He stepped away. Then Vince was like, hey, money. And then Brock's like, all right, let's do this then. What I think with this age, I think now we're going to build Bobby to carry that torch for a few more years, be that new monster like Brock is. Will he reach Brock's stats? I love Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby Lashley is an amazing talent. I remember when he first, his first run and everything like that, and I was like, this dude's gonna be a star. Then he went to Impact Wrestling, he did the UFC thing. This man is talented just like Brock Lesnar, and I feel like this match, if Bobby wins, he's gonna look even more of a threat to everybody. So, Bobby Lashley. This one here, I'm excited about this one because I love me good tag team matches, and this tag team match right here is for the Universal Tag Team Championships. The Usos. We the ones, baby. We the ones. The Bloodline. Will they be with Solo? Will they be with Sammy? We shall see. But versus the Brawling Brutes. Oh, man. I just feel this is just going to be one damn good tag team match. Flying off the ring posts, very crazy spots. These guys are just going to go back and forth, and it's going to be glorious. Yeah. This is what I do when I sit here alone in my studio. Well, my studio is a corner, but this is what we do. We have fun here. But I know the Usos are going to retain. They want to keep that going for a little bit longer, keep the bloodline intact, keep some gold. So I'm going with the Usos on this, but I just know this is going to probably be the match of the night next to Bianca and Bayley. I think there's going to be two head-to-head matches. Okay, this one right here, I'm predicting Braun Strowman is going to beat Omos. I feel deep down that Omos is. I wonder how much of a challenge it is with him. Like, he's great. Like, I really, he's big too. And I just saw this. I didn't get to see the press conference, but I'm seeing things pop up from the press conference and I'm sitting here without internet too. So, that's what really sparked. I was like, I'm going to podcast. I got my little Zoom recorder. I'm going to podcast. So let's talk about Crown Jewel. So Braun Strowman versus Omos. And like I said, with Omos, it's just one of those things. I'm like, I don't know where you're going with this guy. I don't see him as the next champ. I don't see him in that title picture. Braun Strowman, on the other hand, I see him winning the title. Maybe off of Roman or something like that. Like, I see him as a champion, a future champion. I don't see Omos that way. Just a big, huge monster of a man, I could be wrong. But I think this one's going to be okay at best. Is two big men in the ring, giant of men, and it's probably going to be slow paced, smacking each other, testing each other up. But as I was saying, what popped up earlier was Braun Strowman walks over to Omos and just puts his face into his chest. And in the meme or whatever said on top was like, when you get home and you just want to melt into Bay. I cannot erase that image in my head. He just walks up and just puts his face into his chest. Then he looks up, but he's like, it's one thing if he goes and bumps him, like, yeah, well, you want to fight? But he just straight up walks over, face in his chest, I believe right between his pecs. And then he looks up and I'm like, that was something. That was hot. That's what that was. Sell me that. Give me Braun Strowman and Omos on Pornhub. I don't know, man, but just go look for it. The press conference. I definitely want to go back and rewatch, but with no internet, I couldn't even. But so Twitter and Instagrams and all that stuff is kind of keeping me in the loop. But yeah, go check it out. Braun Strowman just straight up puts his face in Omos's chest, and then for a good while, then looks up. But sell me that, all right? WWE, make a deal with Pornhub, and we'll talk, all right? The OC versus the Judgment Day. Judgment Day. I feel Judgment Day is going to win with the help of Rhea Ripley, or will Rhea be there? Once again, I'm guessing she will. Because she's a key factor in the Judgment Day. Very big key factor. I think the OC, I think this is going to be a great match because you got some hard hitters in this thing, man. You got Finn Balor, you got AJ Styles, you got the Good Brothers, you got Damian Priest, Dominic. I like Dominic. I'm not hating on Dominic. I'm glad. I felt like he's grown in this group so far. And that's what he needs. I don't like the whole fact he's like, I am the next Eddie Guerrero. And I'm like, no, you're not. So, no, you still got a ways to go. You still need a personality, but people hate him. And that's a good thing for his part because he's a bad guy. He's a heel. That's what you want. You want the heat. But I think he has more heat of like, yeah, we don't want this guy to be calling himself the next Eddie Guerrero. I know Eddie's probably looking down like, hey, man, that's family right there. But I just don't, I want to see more with Dominic progressing forward. And I do want to eventually see him and Ray go head to head, toe to toe, even though Ray went to SmackDown and now is going to face Gunther here at SmackDown tonight. And what was crazy is like I've been trying really hard to avoid the spoilers because someone said they filmed they pre-taped a lot of these matches because a lot of them will be traveling, so there's gonna be a pre-tape show. So they were talking about the match between Sonya Deville and Liv Morgan, an Extreme Rules match, I believe, or ladder match or something like that. Something where Liv can go extreme for some reason, one way or another. All right. Let's get back into the show. The OC versus Judgment Day. I'm going with Judgment Day with Rhea's help, but I think these guys are going to put on what Mr. Sheamus would say is a banger. So I think the OC versus Judgment Day, the Usos versus Brawling Brutes, and Bianca versus Bayley are going to be three great, solid matches. So we shall see. Now, on to the creme de la creme, on to the main event. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, versus Logan Paul, the outsider. All it's going to take is one punch. And I heard that Jake Paul was there. If I'm wrong, you can comment below, but I heard that Jake Paul showed up at the press conference. I don't know how true that is. I still got to look. And once again, folks, no internet. So I get very spotty with Twitter, very spotty on Instagram, but I heard Jake Paul's there. So it just got me thinking with this match. I think this match is going to be physical. I think Roman's going to make Logan look like $1 million. And the fact that Logan is training with HBK adds more fuel to the fire for Logan. So we're going to see a top-notch Logan Paul go against a very top-notch Roman Reigns, and I think these guys are going to go back and forth. Will the bloodline be there? We shall see. The Usos are going to be there, so there's some form of the bloodline there. Will they help? Is this going to be just straight-up Roman Reigns? Because he has been assisted a bunch of times with the bloodline, and last time with the Clash at the Castle with Drew McIntyre, we got the debut to Solo. So it's up in the air, but I was talking to Penta, and he's probably going to be listening to this, and I hope you're listening well, brother, because we talked about this, and I just said, I have that weird feeling Logan Paul's going to beat Roman Reigns. I don't know. It's funny when I say it out loud, not through a text where, we're going back and forth, and that's what we do. We go back and forth. We talk about pro wrestling because it's our passion and love. But when I say it out loud, now I'm like, do I really want Roman Reigns to lose the title after this long reign, pun intended, to Logan Paul? Is Logan Paul worthy of holding those titles and being on a part-time schedule, even though Roman is technically on a part-time schedule as well? But my prediction for this show, I believe we're going to get Kevin Owens back into the mix because he's been off television for a while now. And rumor has it is he's coming back strong. And Kevin Owens is a Triple H guy. He's a Triple H guy. So I'm wondering if it's not going to be Bray that's next in line for Roman, it's going to be Kevin Owens. And I feel more, and I've said it before, if someone's going to take down Roman Reigns, I think it needs to be Kevin Owens. Then you can go have Roman face The Rock for the bloodline, because The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which has been rumored for a while now, doesn't need the title in the match at all. It needs to be family versus family pride on the line. It doesn't need the championship because Roman Reigns and The Rock are going to sell tickets because it's The Rock facing family. Roman Reigns, the bloodline on the line, doesn't need the championship. So I'm guessing and predicting Roman Reigns will retain the title in a well-fought match, outside interference or not. Talking smack while he does it. He's going to smash. And Logan Paul is going to give a performance like we've like another top-notch performance, because the last two matches he did fantastic. Like that first one, we're like, Logan Paul in WWE. Whatever. Holy shit, he can wrestle, And that next we're like, oh my God. So Logan Paul has earned a lot of my respect, and I know he's like, I don't give two shits about this fat kid, sitting in his apartment in Flagstaff, Arizona, saying I earned his respect. Oh, fuck him, I don't think Logan Paul's gonna think that, but he's earned my respect in that sense of like, now I watch him and I don't cringe when I see him. I just hear him, and I already hyped it up when he did that promo on SmackDown, and I was like, damn, something happened. HBK must have slapped him stupid with some wrestling knowledge, because giving him the proper tools to build himself as a wrestler, as a superstar, a WWE superstar. So we shall see. Is it going to come down to one punch? Is it going to come down to the Superman punch? Or is it going to come down to Logan's punch? Will Jake Paul be part of the reason why Roman Reigns loses the title? Or will Roman Reigns have the bloodline help him retain the title? So this is very up in the air, but I'm picking Roman Reigns for the win. And I know this is just going to be fun. This is going to be great. And I feel this match as well is going to add some very like a very nice like certifying Logan Paul. Big fight feels here, man. Big fight feels, and the main reason too, I had that thing in the back of my head of Logan Paul taking the titles away from Roman is more or less because of the factor of his brother winning his boxing match. Logan, he wins, So we shall see. Tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Drop those comments below. Tell me what is your thoughts on my picks for the show. Where do you see Bray Wyatt being folded in? Will Bray Wyatt just get his own little segment or anything like that? Where do you think that's going to happen? Tell me what you think of Bianca Belair versus Bayley with the last woman standing match. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage match. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. I'm sorry, I did that weak sauce. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. The Usos versus the Brawling Brutes. Braun Strowman versus Omos. Will MVP be a factor? And could I be wrong with picking Braun Strowman and MVP helps Omos win? The OC versus the Judgment Day with Rhea being the factor of like her helping them win that, then Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Is it going to come down to the one punch from Roman or from Logan, or will Jake be the factor of Roman losing the title? Tell me your thoughts below. Drop those comments. This is why we're professional wrestling fans, folks. This is why we talk hours upon hours, even if I'm just sitting here like yelling at a mic. I love talking professional wrestling, and I think the New World Podcast is a great sense of my sanity because now I'm watching more wrestling than ever. Not just WWE, not just AEW. I got New Japan now. I got Ring of Honor. I got all these things and all these factors and all these great ideas. And this is one of many. Usually you get the SmackDown, Dynamite, Raw review. This is straight up crown jewel predictions. Then I'm thinking of doing a crown after I review the show, basically the aftermath, and after I watch the show and see what happens and see if my predictions come to fruition. Oh, I don't care. Just give us a damn good show. Then after that, in a couple weeks, we got Full Gear. So I'm living the dream, man. I'm living the dream. There's wrestling every single day during the week. Impact, like I said, many things to come. Thank you for listening. I appreciate everyone that listens to the New World Podcast or any of our projects in the Social Event Podcast. Me and Big Daddy appreciate every single one of you, and our passion and love for these things will continue to go on as long as people are listening, and they are, and we've gotten some great feedback, and I've gotten some great feedback for the New World Podcast. Thank you. All right, y'all. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And as always, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Honestly, look at the side plates on those titles. They still say damage control. So tomorrow, we will be taking those back, and then we'll be back where they belong, around our waist, plus the Raw Women's Championship.